Greece, so know how it feels being in such a circumstance, but I think that if we all help each other and support each other, and this will be the best because we can overcome these difficult situations. We're all with you, Elazığ, and we support you. Don't worry, everything will be fine.
People of Elazığ, I hope you get help really quickly. I do feel tremendously sorry for the fact that you have to go through this. You know, it's a tectonic event. It's something really difficult to deal with, you know, especially on a local level, especially on a very low, you know, very local level, as you know, as a small town as like you. And I hope the people can see through the bureaucracy and eventually you do get help.
Be strong. I'm pretty sure there's lots of people supporting you, and hope the things work out. I really do. So be strong, I guess, and support each other. You know, one love. You know, love is love between people. So
let's help all Elazığ, and let's try to donate as many things as we can and help everyone.
My heart really goes out to the people in Turkey and everyone who's been affected by these earthquakes. I actually come from a spiritual organization called Al-Ra TV. So we're Sufis, and Turkey has a very dominant Sufi side because they have a lot of people like Maulana Rumi who's come in from Turkey, and he spread his message, and there are a lot of Sufis that live in Turkey. So we spread the message of peace and love, and we go out and help humanity as much as we can.
Normalde videolara çok eğlenceli bir şekilde girmeyi çok seviyorum ama bugün yani her videomdan da anladığınız üzere Elazığ benim yani kalbimin ortasında olan bir şehir. Her tatilimde Elazığ'a gidiyorum ve Elazığ'a akrabalarımla, ailemle zaman geçiriyorum. Ama bugün orada olanlar, yaşanan sıkıntılar beni çok inanılmaz üzüyor ve İngiltere'de yaşayan bir Elazığlı olarak hani elimden daha fazla ne gelebilir diye düşünüyorum. Sizler aracılığıyla hani bir şeyler yapmak istedim. Bu videonun bütün gelirlerini ve önümüzdeki bir ay içerisindeki bütün gelirleri Elazığ'a göndereceğiz. Elazığ'daki depremzedelere göndermeye çalışacağız bir kuruluş aracılığıyla. Kuruluşun linkini de aşağıya bırakacağım eğer sizler de göndermek isterseniz. Yani bu anlamda üzüntülü hissediyorum. Umarım en kısa zamanda tekrardan güzel Elazığ'ımız güzelleşir, deprem sürecini atlatırız. İnsanlara depremi önceden yaşayıp yaşamadıklarını soracağız, neler hissettiklerini soracağız. Video göstereceğim ve bakalım neler hissediyorlar, depremle alakalı neler düşünüyorlar. Hazırsanız videoya geçelim.
Oh my God.
That's a kitchen.
So many people are injured.
Yeah, that's the picture of, I think, explaining everything.
Yeah,
So,
you just feel terrified because you cannot do anything against nature, but you're human, so we can all support each other,
yeah.
and that's the most important thing.
Have you ever experienced earthquake in your life? And if you had, how was it? And what did you feel? And how have you recovered from the earthquake?
Yes, many times because I'm from Greece, and the place I come from, it's a city where we have earthquakes very often. And we always had this kind of classes in school, like how to get ready and be prepared in case of an earthquake. So I know I have to go under a table, for example. I don't have to use an elevator, I have to use the stairs, and these kind of simple instructions that are very important.
So that's one of the houses. That's a kitchen of the house. This other building. Imagine that you are in this house. So what do you feel when you see the video?
Very scared because I didn't know how to act it if it happened. I didn't know if I have to go outside or something. I have been like
Scared and
yeah.
Maybe you will be in shock, yeah?
Yeah.
That's devastating. That's really bad. I mean, imagine all the people in there that been affected, children and families.
Yeah.
House is gone because if it's like a living estate like that, I mean, they must not have that much money for them to have their own place they must be living in a hostel or someplace where.
And now they live in the tents. You know,
yeah,
like
that's really bad because, especially for people who don't have much to start out with, and for having their home already destroyed, it's even more difficult for them to rebuild their life and get back to how they were. Whereas people who have money, it's easier for them that, okay, I can spend money, get another house. But people who are struggling, it's very difficult for them. And I mean, my heart goes out to people like that because it's difficult. I would personally like to go out and help people like that and visit Turkey and different places where earthquakes happen and see where I can do help out of my own pocket and time and help rebuild people and help them with necessities of life and what they can do to get back on their feet.
I'm Turkish, and a special city called Elazığ. So we have earthquake. It's 6.8. It was a quite hard time for Turkish people at the moment. And my question is, have you ever experienced earthquake before?
No, never in my life. No, I was lucky enough not to experience that. So, and it's devastating. I mean, it's scary. Like I wish. Obviously, I don't want ever to experience that because, you know, there's probably nothing scarier than the Mother Nature, to be honest. So I guess fear is one of the things because, you know, the way the planet is treated nowadays. You know, the devastation can come to anywhere, to be honest. Yeah, it might not be the earthquake in Europe, but it could be like a heat wave or flooding or anything else. So I guess this is the main fear, and obviously like the sadness towards what's happening to people, and especially in that part of Turkey, I guess the city wasn't really prepared for that. You know, the buildings are not built for that. I wish it wouldn't happen. I wish you know, the governments would prepare more for that, especially if that's because I know in that part of Turkey it's a quite frequent thing, like to have the earthquakes. So, you know,
we have a big problem at the moment in Turkey.
Right.
So we got an earthquake.
Yeah.
It's 6.8.
6.8 magnitude.
And especially it happened in my town, and many people died and injured. Have you ever experienced earthquake before?
I have not, thankfully, because we live in England. It's a fairly low-lying area. It doesn't affect as much by tectonic activity as, you know, somewhere like Turkey or the Himalayas or anywhere else, even China for that matter.
So what do you imagine for the earthquake? Like, what's happening? What do you feel like, even when you see it on the news?
Well, it's sad to see, and it's utter chaos, especially. I remember that after the Sichuan earthquake in China a couple of years ago in 2008, the rebuilding costs, everything, how it was, because the area itself was so harsh to reach, how many lives were lost, it was just absolute chaos. And then to see, you know, what they did afterwards was, you know, it was snappy. You know, one of the few good things about China and how they work with anything they do with projects, especially related to risk. Like that earthquake, after that, we had rubber foundation under the buildings, you had, you know, new safety improvements. You know, they just improved everything, just made everything better now.
That's a living room.
That's a living room?
Yeah. And that's a new building.
That's a new building destroyed right there. No, that must be horrific then, especially for a small town. Then it must be even harder to rebuild. I mean, you have, what, a few townspeople just gathered together.
In Turkey, we are having quite a hard time at the moment. My town, which is Elazığ, is the east side of Turkey. My parents born in Elazığ and they grew up in there. At the moment, that city had a big earthquake, 6.8. People are died and thousands of people injured. I want us, like, if you ever had experienced the earthquake before, especially from Greece, yeah?
Yes, we had. I don't remember how many years was ago. I think we might have 6.4, not even that bad as yours, but it was terrible. The buildings were destroyed, people were dead, especially in villages. It was really bad. My city was kind of okay, but in the villages where we had the problem, I remember people were gathering clothes and food all over Greece to send it to them. And then we had organizations that they were trying to help the children or take them maybe in schools because they didn't have home where to stay. And yeah, we were just trying all over Greece to donate money to them.
Evet arkadaşlar, videonun sonuna geldik. Umarım güzel memleketim, Elazığ'ım, güzel ülkem, Türkiye'm böyle büyük bir sıkıntı daha yaşamaz. Türk insanının ne kadar bir araya geldiğini gördük, birbirimize yardım edebildiğimizi gördük. Bizlerin elinden de bu gelebiliyor, en fazla bunu yapabiliyoruz şu anda. dediğim gibi videonun başında bu video olmak üzere bir ay içerisindeki bütün videoların kazancını AHBAP kuruluşuna göndereceğiz. Bu tamamen bizim şahsi olarak seçtiğimiz kuruluşlardan bir tanesi. Umarım bu yaşadığımız süreci çok hızlı bir şekilde üstesinden gelebiliriz. Orada olan insanların acılarına biraz daha destek olabiliriz. Umarım videoda bir şekilde güzel yerlere ulaşır ve oradaki insanlara güzel bir şekilde destek olmak isteriz. Tekrardan görüşmek üzere.